live from the city of Los Angeles. This is your boy Duane Cofield. This is the weekly tap in drug dealers to businessmen podcast. Man, I hope you guys are doing well, man. Welcome to season 4. Those have been rocking with us for a minute. You already know what time it is, man. Put your shout out in the chats. Let us know where you tapping in from. Those who are listening on the replay, those who are listening from around the world, we certainly appreciate you tapping in, man. This is episode number 5, man. It is not for them, it is for you. And we're going to go deep on this, right? We're going to talk about a few things, but then I also wanted some feedback from you guys as well because I got some feedback from some of my students. And they were saying, "Hey, Professor Cofield, man, we liked your podcast, man. It was cool and all. But um, you know, can you do more tutorials?" And I'm like, tutorials on what? I asked for feedback from my audience. I try to get more feedback from them, in terms of what you guys need. So put that in the chat. If you guys are interested in more tutorials on how to actually do things, what's going on, Samuel? If you guys are interested in more on how to actually do something step by step, let me know and let me start to give me some feedback on some subjects that you guys would like me to research and ideally, present to you. Or if you like me to bring people on from a specific background that I can do an interview with and really dig deep in terms of, or do a deeper dive in terms of what their expertise is or how deep they go. So I'm waiting on you guys. Give me some feedback on which direction you like to go because I have no problem with it. I love tutorials. I actually love guests as well, but I'm waiting on you guys to let me know what your flavor is, and then I'll start to bring them on. So if it's employment, if it's um, loan, I'll try to bring somebody on from SBA to talk. If it's business plans, I try to bring somebody on that could talk to you, about business plans, and because I could talk to it, but you guys hear my voice all the time, so I'll start to work on that. And hopefully, if that's the feedback and the direction that you guys are interested in, then we'll go that route. So let me know if that's something that y'all interested in. We could definitely start to move in that direction. I could do more hands-on tutorial because I know how that is. You definitely want something more tangible. I like to motivate people, but I also like to give them skills that they can walk away with that they can actually apply to, if it's their business right now, or if it's a job that they're at, they can actually apply that skill set immediately. I think one of the most important skills that I've learned over time was soft skills. You know what I mean? So soft skills was, just basically how to navigate in an office environment, which is difficult if you haven't been raised in more like a control type setting where um you understand how office politics works, then you may struggle in that sense. So that was one of my lessons. Also, what I'm learning now is how to write better, how to speak better, elevating my language right now. That's one of the things that I'm really working on. And everybody I keep hearing, like they were Tavis Smiley was talking about Shirley Chisholm the other day. They were talking about how educated she was, right? And how, knowledgeable she was. And a lady who I guess wrote an autobiography about her, or a biography about her. Not an autobiography, but a biography about her was saying that she was well read. So then I was listening today, and I'll give you guys this. I have 2 book suggestions today, so it's a pretty decent treat. But talked about in terms of what to do to keep your brain fresh and not aging, because a lot of homies is getting toward a 30s, 40s, 50s, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And you want to keep yourself sharp. So there's certain things that we're talking about doing. What's going on, Tanisha? Appreciate y'all tapping in. That keeps you young and fresh from a mindset. So we'll talk about that as well. But yeah, today we're talking about it's not for them, it's for you. And what usually brings me to the point of what the conversations that we have and on this podcast are the experiences that I have. And in those experiences, usually, there's a lesson now. Like I understand the game now. Like it took me 46 years to really understand what we're doing out here. And once I started figuring it out, like, okay, so this is really just, all the turmoil that you've been through. God's constantly blessing you and giving you gifts. And even when you thought it was turmoil that you were going through, those were gifts that he was giving you at that time as well. As dangerous as the game was, and as many up and downs as you went through, he was trying to push you towards your greatness anyways. I just had a conversation today with my relative, and we were talking about that. And I said, man, God trying to push you towards your greatness, even if he pushes you away from comfort. And a lot of people, they can't absorb that because they're comfortable in what they're doing and they don't want to be pushed off of that. That's comfortable. This is my go-to, or whatever the case may be, right? But you need to be pushed off of certain things that aren't necessarily serving you anymore. And one was being the game. It wasn't serving me anymore. It was dangerous. It wasn't rewarding. I was always on the road. I was constantly in fear, not only of my life, of going to jail. And just, you age fast, right? And you see homies who've been doing a long time, and you see that worry and stress and prison all up on their face and everywhere, because that's just what that gives you, and I had to realize that, certain things that you were doing at that time, it's like, this may be for them, but it's ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the reverse of what we're talking about today. You have to realize, man, that's, what's for you is you. Like, and you can't. The one thing that everybody wants to do, and I think we touched on it last time, is everybody wants to bring people with them, and that's cool. You can, right? But you got to understand, your gifts are yours. So what happens a lot of times, we want to share our gifts with everybody, right? Because especially when you get something like you hit the lottery, and you know what I mean, God giving you $5 million, you happy, you want to share it with everybody. At least, conceptually. I mean, you have to be a damn near a grouch not to want to kind of share some of your luck or whatever it is with somebody. And the thing about it is, some people may see it as, damn, that's a blessing that they got, and now they can be a blessing to me. And some people are seeing like, man, why not me? And there's some people who are saying, F them. So the thing about it is, the reason why they don't recognize it as a legitimate blessing oftentimes, because it's not for them. So even when you try to share it with them, that the wealth or whatever the case may be, they don't even see it as that. They see it as a slap in the face. Why not more? Why only this? Whatever the case may be. It's not for them. And they don't recognize the beauty in it. Oftentimes I look at a lot of gifts that God gives me, books, experiences, confirmations, all this stuff. And when I share them with people, I don't get the same sentiment. Why? It's not for them. Their gift may look different. It's not their gift. You can talk about it. You can, oh man, my gift is this and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And they wouldn't know what it looked like. They're like, oh, I don't even know. Why are you so happy about that? Because it's not your gift. You know what I'm saying? You're not really supposed to know what this does for me. Right? My experiences are mine and uniquely mine. It sounds selfish, but it is what it is. That's the unique part about God's delivery. Your gifts are going to be exactly for you, not for them. And whoever that is, and a lot of times, and it's crazy that it is, like spouses, family members, whatever, you can share your gifts and your abilities, but you're still that unique individual to where they have to discover their gifts too. So yeah, like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna put our gifts together, but it's very difficult for someone to see what and give up what their gifts are, right? Because I don't want to even pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm gonna just focus on you. That's not fair, right? We have to be to the point to where, man, you got to discover your gift, whatever that is. I don't know what it is, but you got to go find it. You know what I mean? You got to go figure out what it is. I figured out what my gifts are. I love studying. Like, I'll study till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Problems, I figured it out. Like, there's purpose now. So I like researching. I like reading and coming up with logical things. And I'm starting to read and understand more, digest more. My vocabulary is expanding. So I'm starting to understand exactly who I am. I like walking in nature, love it. One of the books that I recommend tonight talks specifically to that, walking in nature and what it does for you. So much power in a lot of stuff. So, this is the thing when you start to realize and start to connect with God on that next level and discover what gifts he's given you, you'll start to see him everywhere. You will start to see him, but then at the same time, you'll also notice those distractions a lot more too because they're coming in at the same time. But if you don't pay attention, you'll look more at the distractions than you do the gifts. That's the thing right there. It's like, okay, so what's my gifts? I had plenty today, plenty confirmation on what I was reading, set my intentions yesterday, got on it on top of it, wrote it down last night, what I got up and intended on doing. Start knocking it out step by step by step and let God roll and pushed everything through. Everything was perfect timing. Nothing stopped it. It was other stuff that was trying to get in the way. Parking, right? Somebody trying to throw trash, right? Somebody trying to get ahead of me once I left. So you understand what the enemy does when he's trying to ruin your flow, but you got to keep it pushing. In addition to that, today I was listening to a cat talking about entrepreneurship and restaurant management. Another gift, right? At perfect timing on the homie show. These are the things that God are giving you that nobody else would recognize. It's that perfect divine timing, that perfect divine message that comes and hits you right where it's supposed to, when it's supposed to, how it's supposed to. And a lot of people can't comprehend it, but don't expect them to. That's a waste of time. Trying to change someone's thought to agree with you, a waste of time. You just let them make their decisions on their own. It's much better anyways. Take time, relax. It takes a lot of pressure off of you. Because I know before me, I'm an A-type personality. I want a lot of control, including trying to control other people's thought processes. And I had to fall back from that and understand, dude, these books that you getting, like I picked up the book in Seattle was talking about walking in the forest that I'll show you guys. That's for me. You know what I'm saying? I could share it with you, but it may not. If it hits you, then it's for you too. But if it doesn't, it's not for you, right? It's like advertising. If you don't resonate with the commercial, you are not the demographic. And you're not the demographic for my gifts. Crazy as it sounds, you're not the demo for my gifts. You're the demo for your gifts. So whatever God has intended for you, whatever gifts he's going to give you, they're not going to be mine. Right? We can come together like on Christmas when we go out and compare gifts, like when we're riding around our bikes and all the scooters or whatever. We can do that, but we're not splitting gifts. Right? God's given us our own bag and boxes. So it's no reason to try to envy what somebody else is doing. None whatsoever. You need to be on the lookout for when God's giving you your gifts. And all the time, they do not look like bows. They're not in boxes. Um, said, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Tanisha said for couples that are discovering their unique gift, it's important to remember you may be on a project together, but you have to respect it. And yeah, you have to, because somebody's going to dominate, right? It's just like trying to split something, right? Let's split our dream. How are we going to split our dream? It's either my idea or your idea. You know what I'm saying? But it's very seldom that it's our idea unless we're business partners or something like that. So it's you try to support each other's dreams. You give each other time. You know what I mean? Especially if somebody sacrificed and supported yours, then you want to focus on theirs. You want to throw them some action. Okay, well, you've been behind me for the last 10 years. You watched me try to go out here and put my stuff down. It didn't happen. What you got up? And that's kind of how I would be. That's how I've seen most people do it. You know what I'm saying? From that standpoint. But even still, everybody has their unique gifts. You know what I mean? And just respecting that. You're not always going to be able to go in business with your spouse. Some people just may not be business minded. That's okay because they can serve in other places, right? Sometimes I tell people all the time, I don't need you to figure out the books. I just need you to believe in me. I just need you to speak life in me. I got everything. Me and God got everything else. Matter of fact, the universe has more details to figure out, right? I just chunk it up to that and start walking. You feel what I'm saying? Get my Denzel on West. Period. So that's, I think that once we understand that even though we may want to do things together, sometimes it just doesn't work like that, and that is fine, right? Just speak life into me. Don't think I can't do it, right? Don't doubt. Even if you doubt, just say, you know what, I doubt because I don't know enough, but you do, or God wouldn't have planted that dream in you, right? So that's the kind of life that I need spoken in me. Other than that, right, there's nothing to talk about, because you won't there's no way that people are going to see things entirely your way. It's because they don't have your eyes. They haven't seen what you've seen. They haven't experienced what you've experienced. Nobody's been with you the entire time. Right? Me and my relative got down and work. Me and my homeboy got down in San Diego. Right? So we it at different times. Right? So, but that doesn't mean that we can get down now, in business. It just because we went different. I went school, they went, did what they did. Everybody did a different thing. And that's fine, right? We can all compare notes and compare gifts, but walk that path uniquely. Don't go backwards and try to recreate a path too. The butterfly effect is toe up, right? You can't recreate things, but you can walk in your gift, right? And you can pay attention to the ones that he's delivering daily. We pay attention to the wrong things. I have to tell my son that all the time. I'm like, dude, you talk about the wrong thing. Like, you'll say, man, we got all these things, man, but there's just one that's broken. Why are you paying attention to the broken one? Look at all the other ones that work. And that's what we do naturally, right? We want to look at the one broken thing to find out what's wrong, right? The F on the report card as opposed to the straight A's. Damn, why you get an F here? You see all these A's, dog. You know what I'm saying? And that's us. The dog shit in the park. What we paying attention to? The grass, the sunrise, right? The smell of the trees, or because Rover took a shit over here. Who cares? Right? I'm just saying, like, in the grand scheme of things, we gotta learn to focus on the right things. And what do we need to do? Right? I'm moving towards both dreams that I have. One being trying to push this chicken where customers are forcing us to add menu items. We're getting ready to add them. Man, I'm stepping up to the plate because I know who's delivering all this stuff, right? So we're getting ready to learn how to. We're adding 2 or 3 new items. Dessert, right? Starting to look at things. That message that was sent to me earlier about the entrepreneurship and the restaurant stuff. Soak that up, right? Hair thing, we get ready to push that even harder. Not to the point of where we got to shove it down someone's throat, but we can expand on a few different things. Mainly moving into men stuff because based on research, we know that's popping. Still pursuing the PhD, trying to just low key with it, not necessarily saying I'm in a program, not even saying anything about it, because no one's going to be. This is the thing, right? It's almost like what we talked about last time, man. You start putting things out there, and I read an actual paper on that. People, whether people like you, whether people think you genuine. That's why I don't really talk about that stuff anymore, because I don't want people to formulate an opinion about me that isn't necessarily genuine. And I don't want to put things out there. If I do, I want to inspire someone, not make them feel crispy towards me. And some people do. Oh man, you bragging who you woo woo woo. Ah man, I'm trying to. What this is the conclusion that I've come to terms with. Right. This is a tough one. This is because I'm on team no ego. That we're put on this earth not to hoard, to learn, to become noble for our legacy, but our legacy just for legacy's sake. But it's for our legacy that it inspires the next generations behind us. So what we do in this lifetime is not for us. It's for the people that are watching us, right? We're giants to them. What are the giants doing? What did the giant do? Because I'm going to be a giant in a minute too, and I should outdo him or her. And that's the philosophy that I have, right? So I'm learning all this stuff for my kids to show them. You look at NBA players, right? Their parents were either pro or damn near went pro, right? And then their kids just take it to the next level. So as parents, I'm holding myself accountable to do everything that I possibly can to excel in every way, form, or fashion. If it's exercise, Dad, you 50 some years old, you still in there buffing? Yes. Why? Because I'm trying to show you the way, right? I'm trying to leave a footprint for you. So, oh, Dad, you started a bit. Yes. Why? So I can show you how to do this stuff. So when you 5, 8, 9 years old, you learning how to put these green beans together. Why? Because we got to cater. Okay, with boom. So you can expand this. Why are you doing a PhD? So just in case you want to go become a teacher, you want to be instructor, you feel like you want to teach, I can show you the roadmap. So I'm trying to be as dispensable as indispensable as I possibly can. Not to just society, but more importantly to the people that are right under me watching me, right? Because I'm lifting them up the higher I go. Because now I'm putting that bar higher, right? So you got to hey man, we all jump 10 feet, man. You know you're going to have to jump like 11. And that should be motivation. Okay, Pop's got well, at least he got the PhD, he got the MBA. Okay, well, I know that's the bar. That's the right. That's the low bar right there. But I'm gonna take it a step further than that. Right. So I'm doing all these things, not even knowing what they could possibly do because it doesn't matter. I'm just showing them. Do whatever you can to be successful. It's your life, man. Max it out. Your gifts are for you. Watch what God gives you. He gives you opportunities to learn all the time. And most people choose to pass on them. Nah, I'm good. Why? You got something better to do? You got somebody better to please than God? He's throwing these things at you, and we just like, man, come on, man. I want this. Man, that's his gift for reasons that me and that individual know about. I'm trying to throw you your gifts, or at least prepping you so that you're in a position to receive it. Because a lot of times what we're not in a position to receive it. Our hands are full with a bunch of gibberish and rigmarole and BS that we can't receive. But we talked about that last week, getting prepared to receive. How you gonna get prepared to receive your gift? One, if you're not anticipating it. I'm anticipating. Let me go ahead and get my bed ready. It's going down, right? If you you know what I mean, in a couple sense, like let me go ahead and get the bed ready. I know it's going to get your stuff ready. You know what's coming, so get your stuff ready. Whether it's we want to do franchise. I'm listening to these cats, right? They're talking about franchising. What's going on, fam? AZ's in the building. Just talking about you. You just missed it. um, but yeah, he was talking about franchising, right? And one of the things that he said right there that stuck with me, and this is one thing that I knew. He was like, "Yeah, my boy Donamici, shout out to Donamici, man. Listen to it. Donamici's first is everybody on KBLA. If you don't have it, get the app KBLA 1580. It's dynamite. It's Tavis Smiley station. It is amazing, man. You guys are gonna listen to him every morning. They got D.L. Hughley on there. Zoe is on. Lonzo Williams. They got some heavy hitters on there. Really good, amazing radio show. Some really good people in there that are running it. Shout out to Elston Butler, Maisha, a few other people that I know there personally. So kudos to them if you guys can download the app. But anyways, um, they were talking about that, and one of the things that he has said was that a lot of people had this notion that when you get a franchise that you own it, and you don't own it. He was like, Raising Cane's are not franchise, there's one owner. You're an operator. And that right there was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna operate something, I'm gonna practice and I'm gonna build my own brand and sell it. So that's the gift to me is to take my time and really but be prepared for it. We got our stuff copywritten, trademarked. I'm sorry. We got it trademarked. So our logo, all that stuff is trademarked. So we already prepping ourselves for it, investing in it before you can even see you gotta get ready. You're not gonna get ready. If you don't get ready, you don't really believe it's gonna happen for you. So we went through the trademark process. Everybody's attorney sending stuff. I'm clowning. I don't need your help. What you want? Who sent you? I'm playing with them, right? Hey, you need me. No, I don't. Blah. Ha ha ha. Laughing at him. Because I don't need him. Why? Man, I got the internet, dog. It's YouTube videos, everything. Trademark it. Learn how to do it. You know what I'm saying? If y'all interested in that, then I'll do something on that as well. But that's how you prepare yourself to be a Raising Cane's. Then you be one operation, two, and somebody else says, I wanted to, okay. Then you put the recipes down. You put the systems, how everything is made. Trademark copyright the recipes. We setting ourselves up to be franchised. All we got to do is keep cooking good chicken, keep making signature good food, and we'll be fine. Know the play. God gave it to me. All right, we're gonna keep running it, no matter what the defense comes out with. Right? And the thing about it is, that's the thing. There's another episode that we have coming. You got to believe in yourself to the point where you're the last one that believes. When everybody else, man, oh, man, you got to stick in. You got to double down. We in it. Discovery. We got a catering job today on Discovery. Nobody heard of it. She's like, man, are y'all any good? About to find out. And we about to stretch ourselves because we added a menu item. Love it. Love it. Gifts from God. No obstacles. These are opportunities. Let's go. I see it coming now. I'm smelling it, right? Excited. And you know why, too? 'Cause I went and walked amongst the trees this morning. Started my day off on purpose. Understood that gift first. That one was first. Then the other stuff came. Right? No desperation, right? No, let me stay on. Let me go connect with nature, man. Go smell some eucalyptus, some pine, right? Some soil, some fresh after the rain stuff. Because at the TED Talk, that's a double up, right? Got the book and then went to the TED Talk. Understanding this nature thing, starting to really figure this thing called life out. Not about the hustle and bustle. It's about attracting things to you. That's a hard one, right? Because we naturally, personalities, all that, we think we got control over things. We don't, man. The universe gives us what we are, what we think we deserve. And a lot of times our subconscious isn't what we saying on our outside, right? What we really believe isn't what we saying. We saying one thing, oh, I got faith, da da da. And then we go and question God's motives and his delivery dates. When you gonna get it here, God? I've been waiting for 2 or 3 years, yo. You gave it to dude up the street. Man, come on. So he gonna give it to you on time, right? Whatever you need, right when you need it. I promise you that, man. I'm living proof. And it's something that I'm chilling with now because I see it. I'm like, okay. Even when it's bad, it's good. Man, make something happen. You know what I mean? Even if you got to push it, make something happen. And another thing, too, again, your surroundings. Everybody ain't a believer. Everybody is not a believer. You got a lot of doubtful people, right? And they will cast that energy on you. So you got to be careful what you share with them. They talk about that don't cast your pearl among swine. That's as real as I don't know what. Especially when you give somebody some advice. That's why I'm skeptical on giving people business advice. Oh, D, man, that shit didn't work. Man, I tried to do woo do woo do 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 do. That's because that was working for me. And that's the thing about advice. Nobody's gonna tell you, man, that stuff just worked for me, man, because I was lined up. My brother was a stockbroker. And they don't tell you all these little things. They like, man, I came from the pen and I flipped it, and now I'm a millionaire off of stocks. All right, dog. Now my dad got a broker. You know what I mean? They leave all the like the little important stuff out of it. And that's why I'm skeptical on, like, I don't want to advise people too much. I want to just share my experiences with God. Because if I share my experiences with God, they are freaking amazing. Stories you've never when you start, like I said, the miracles didn't stop when they with the sandals and the robes. He's still here. What you want? How you want it? He giving it to you, man. So it's important to understand what you want. I asked my son that. He did really good on his report card. I said, man, what you I said, you deserve something. What you want? He still can't figure it out. I said, because you got everything. You got everything you need. You don't need anything. And that's where I'm at with it. I'm like, man, everything I need, I have, man. So don't give me more than I can handle. I'm not greedy. I don't need more food. I don't need more lobster. I don't need, man, nah. I don't need 100 cars. For what? So I can attract envy. I want love, man. I want appreciation. I don't want envy. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. So don't give me more than I can handle. Don't give me more, man. Bless somebody else who really need it more than I do. That's humbling. Bless somebody who need it more than I do. Period. Say a prayer for somebody and really mean that shit. You know what I mean? Not on some I'm really praying for myself, trying to act like I'm praying for somebody else. Nah, you gotta really mean that stuff. You gotta want somebody to win. You gotta help people win. You gotta reply to them, especially when they ask you for advice and stuff. I've been getting good at that. You know what I'm saying? Trying to give people my time. Whenever they need something, let me reply right back. I don't know what moment they in, and this is a connection from God. That's how I'm looking at it. And I'm not going religious, man. I ain't got no Vogues on my Cadillac or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all will get that. I'm just saying, homie. I don't have no Vogues on my Cadillac or nothing like that. So, I'm not gonna hit you up for nothing. But man, I talk about God probably more than anybody. Because I understand the alpha and omega, that's it. Everything starts and ends there, right? Prayer works, listening to a book on feeling. That's another thing, right? Feelings. How powerful are that? We gonna talk about some of those in some further episodes, but think about the power of your feeling and how much that controls everything around you. That's why it's so important that you need to feel good. And a lot of people use other means of what do you call it? Faux or fake satisfaction, right? Fake, right? We try to mask it, but the real is accomplishment. The real is love, safety, right? Those are the things. I'm going into Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? But those are the things, right, that make us feel good, appreciation. But I'm gonna tell you like this: there's other things that we can use that do magic as well, like going out and forest bathing, right? Walking amongst the trees and getting those smells. That's what you get on them hikes. That's why I'm so big on hiking. Because the smells that you get, the sounds, the sights, all that stuff is therapeutical for you. People wonder what the fuck is wrong with me. I'm just uptight. That's because you ain't out there doing what we came from. You sitting up there doing God's job, and that's some complicated shit, dog. You can't. So quit trying. You know what I mean? You gotta pray and walk away, dog. 100%. Let God go ahead and take care of that heavy lifting, man. You just put your intention in the right direction. But it got feeling. That's why it's so important to exercise because those endorphins. They talk about them ice baths in the morning. You see all that on TikTok because they trying to get that feeling without trying to snort Yola and shoot up and do whatever else Cass is doing right now. And I'm not knocking nobody's vice, man. Everybody has one. But what I'm saying is if we can achieve these feelings, right? Because these feelings are productive, right? They lead to other actions. So if we feel fantastic, we're gonna do some fantastic work. We're gonna be energized. We're gonna be motivated. We're gonna be encouraged. So we're gonna accomplish a lot more. specific things, right? That are going to help us in our overall goals and objectives. So it's important for us to feel good. And how do you feel good? You feel good when you accomplish something. You feel good when you exercise. You feel good when you have good food. You feel good when you loved, right? You feel good in certain people's company. There's certain people that you come around and they make you feel like Superman when you leave. Like, damn, I can go accomplish the world. And then there's certain people that will poke pins into you to see if you the Pillsbury Doughboy, or see if you deflatable. You got to be careful who you kicking around, right? There's doers and nah, man, I don't know. I'm a doer. I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna figure it out, homie. Always been like that. Always. Anybody that know me, always man, always been like that. I'm gonna figure this shit out. I'm gonna get it done. I'll just watch. And that's not from a cocky sense. That's just understanding who's with you. It's like having a big homie that can do anything and always just a call away. And you call in this other big homie who damn near, I ain't even going there. You know what I'm saying? But you get my point. Call the right big homie, man. Quit calling the wrong one, man, because you're going to get the wrong advice. It's going to be a crash dummy. You ain't going to know why. Cats manipulating you. So find the right homie, right? Get the right advice. And if you can't get the right advice, that's the point of these podcasts, is to talk to somebody at least for a half an hour and get some real game. You don't have to be from my mouth. It could be from anybody. And you could start with anything. Doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you just find something that you really enjoy. Zone out. I like Zen music now. You know what I'm saying? Mood music, setting the tone. I'm getting into aromatherapy. A cat is changing into really, really trying to maximize my mind, right? Because I understand the potential of it now. I'm starting to see it. I'm like, we don't know anything. We're limited. At least I am. I'm limited in my language. I'm limited in my experiences. I'm limited in my knowledge. So that's all opportunity for me to learn, soak stuff up. I'm excited. In addition to that, as you age, if you're trying to prevent aging or forgetting things and dementia and things like that, you need to constantly be learning. Right? I'm always talking about always be reading, always be learning, always be adding value. So real things I believe in. Learn something new all the time. I had to go back and learn geometry. Never took a geometry class. Had to go back and learn it, and it's fascinating. Fascinating to me. And I understand it. All right, some of it's complicated, but when I just go through Khan Academy. One of the best things invented, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not going, man, showing my kids how to solve problems themselves and not have to ask anybody for anything. Use that internet, man. Use the brain in your internet. Come up with the right questions and put it in the right device and get the right answer faster than in any other time in history. So we advantage you guys, right? But that's it, man. I understand what God has for me. I understand. And I don't expect anyone else to. That's really it. You have to understand what gifts God has for you. You have to pay attention and understand that nobody else, they may not have it. They may think you're bluffing, right? You ever see those movies where like, man, you see that cat over there? They're like, nah. I think it was um Beetlejuice. It was Beetlejuice. Yeah, where he could only like there was only one person in there that could see them. And I guess because she was, I didn't realize, I think she was dead or whatever the case may be. She might not have been, but she was the only person that could see them. And that's kind of how it works right now. You're the only person that can see your stuff. You're the only person that can recognize the hints, the confirmations, the all that stuff, the angels when they come. No one else is going to see, even if they're sitting right next to you, they're not going to recognize it. Like, what are you talking about? I mean, you don't see that? Man, that's God talking. Oh, man, you're crazy. Tell you what, whatever. Right? Man, homie, I know how God works. Right? And if you walk outside, you go to the store, after you leave this, you'll see him too. I promise you that. You'll see him too. You got to expect to see it. You got to quit looking at the dog shit. We're at the park, yo. Look out for the gifts. Even the dog shit might have you step in another direction to see something that you may not have ever seen had you not ran into the dog shit. So sometimes it's okay to acknowledge it. Yeah, I know it's there and make you turn left, but you don't spend time on it, man. Look at the dog. Whoopty, where go left, dog. That's what he's trying to tell your ass. Go left. Discover that greatness over there. Because it may inspire you. Because he's got to work in he's working with a lot of complex things. So if he's trying to deliver your dream, somebody else is like maybe 3 or 4 million other people, who knows, at the same time, that takes a lot of coordination, a lot of angels, a lot of all that. So so pay attention when he's doing it, right? Because it if you don't, it's you gotta do it again sometimes. And not that God can't do it, but pay attention, man. Please. And you think I'm joking. And a lot of people, this is the thing, right? We talked about this in the past. Whether you believe it or not, you're right. Doesn't matter to me. It's working for me. You're like, man, that stuff don't work. Shit. I'll tell you what, living proof, partner. I tells no lies there. Living proof. I've been at the bottom of the bottom, straight up, 100%. And God has lifted me and keeps lifting me. Whatever I ask for, I'm asking for favor. I asked for favor from the research side. Boom, got an opportunity. Started myself though. God wanted to show God that I was serious. Started myself, did my own research project. Got with one of my professors, wrote it up, sent it to IRB, did the whole nine. Start working with another professor. She put me on with another research. That's three. Now I'm starting to look at programs. Went back to the program that I was looking at, looked at the student profiles again. Was less intimidated. Like, oh, I thought you guys were way more up than you were. So it's all starting to come clear. That's still happening too. Right? Loving it, not bragging about it, but just showing you, man, once you clear the smoke and once you start believing in yourself, you'll see that these were gifts all along, right? The only time the suggestion, the doubt was the enemy. He's coming with the doubt, man, you can't compete with these cats. You don't have a high enough GMAT score. No problem. I'll take it again. You can't compete with these cats. You ain't got a high enough GPA, but you got work experience. You do podcasts. You currently teach. You've been teaching for 5 years. That's going to trump that. And he runs out of shit to throw at you. And you tell him, sit your monkey ass down until I finish. And you have to treat the enemy like that. You can't let them start talking to you crazy and start talking you out of your stuff, because he will, just by the art of suggestion, come with that. Ah, homie. Oh, man, you can't. Watch me. And make sure the homies is taking notes, because it's going to get done. Period. I'm going to learn it. As long as the internet's popping, I got a place to look something up. It's going down. I'm gonna figure it out shortly. Shortly. And that's the attitude I hopefully is contagious to you. Hopefully. So the two books that I wanted to actually show you guys, right? One, Horse Bathing. I recommended this to my relative earlier. This is by Dr. Queen Lee. Man, fantastic. This is my son, my youngest son was reading this. Oh, unbelievable. Talks about creating natural killer cells. It talks about the health benefits, the happiness benefits, to just walking amongst the forest. It's got pictures in there. It even has diffusers. So if you want to get diffusers, let's see. Talks about the smells. It's got beautiful scenery. So like this kind of stuff. The book is fantastic. I mean, absolutely amazing. I'm not even all the way through with it, but one of the best books I've ever read in my life. Now, Carboard Shavings. So the path that I went on. This is how confirmation works. So the path that I went on today had this. And we smelled that. So what is this? Fill your house with smell. But a bowl of cedarwood shavings in your hallway will greet the smell of forest every time you come home. So The where I walked today was a wealthier area. And sometimes you have to go to these places in order to reap some of the benefits because clearly they understand. They understand this walking path and they set it up perfectly so that the smells are right, so that the atmosphere is right, and all that, right? So I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? This is perfect. And I've been going there for years. You know, it was one of the first paths me and my wife used to run on and stuff like that. So it's an amazing path. And plus, it helps with our knees. But yeah, so forest bathing, try it, get the book. I bought it in Seattle, which is a great place for forest. It's got a lot of greenery. It rains a lot. There's a lot of microbes in the soil, right? So all this stuff is like fascinating to me now because that's not something that I'm interested in. So the second book that I just heard about today, and I went and bought it because it had the stuff that he suggested on there was stuff that I was already like kind of thinking about. And when he had said it, I was like, "Oh, that's confirmation." Go ahead, grab the book. So I don't move like these are all like I said, these are all gifts, man. These are all gifts from God. And I'm like, dude, I don't look the gift horse as my dad would say. I'm looking at, or my grandmother would say, I'm looking a gift horse in the mouth. And basically saying that you're just you're just not being appreciative of the gifts that God's given you. So the book is called The Age Proof Brain. New strategies to improve memory, protect immunity, and fight off dementia. I was really like thinking about, people in my family who may be aging, but I started to apply it to myself and said, D, you ain't not like you a spring chicken. You're not hella young anymore. Look at some of these same strategies. So it talked about just the importance of daylight on your sleep habits. And it talked about that in the book. And I'm like, these are two things that were important to me. Sleep habits, I'm getting a really good night's sleep because there's nothing like getting a good night's sleep, but how to get a good complete night's sleep and a healthier night's sleep. So, in addition to that, it talked about memory, how to do things, learn new things, things that are outside your normal scope of business. So, like I'm a business guy, I do marketing. So it probably suggests looking at, art. So I'm looking at aromatherapy. So that's a little bit different to me, right? So, but it's interesting, right? It doesn't necessarily contribute to a business mindset, but it stretches my mind, right? I think it's called um I want to say no, neuroplasticity is the term, I believe, or something like that. Just trying to regenerate certain brain cells. So that's one book. The other book that was on that saying that I bought not too long ago as well was Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. It's a really short book. And then I ended up buying his whole collection. These two, he's a country cat, but it doesn't matter, man. I buy books for the messages, right? And I was, for some reason, it got popped up in my thing, and I bought it. I needed a quick book for the gym. Bought that Feeling is the Secret, which is why I kind of touched on it a little bit. I'll go into a little bit more detail, perhaps in another episode. I'm talking about, the importance of feeling good, and having good people around you and surrounding you so that you do feel good when you accomplish things, and you're not ridiculed, right? Your environment is everything, homies. I tell you. So make sure that you're in a really strong one. So hopefully you guys wrote those down. Let me just share it with you again. Age Brain Proof and forest bathing, man. I'm telling you. And like I said, it doesn't even matter anymore. Like I used to be like, oh man, they're gonna think I'm corny, man. Man, listen, man. The game I'm giving you, it works for me. It works for me. And that's why I always say my advice is subjective, man. It may hit you different. Right. This book didn't get me at first. And it just sat there, kept looking at me downstairs. And I was like, damn, it's keep looking at me. So pick it up again. Pick it up, and that's when the magic started happening. So the magic could start happening for you if you paid attention, right? And you look for those same gifts that God gives you because He gives them to you every day. And that will conclude our weekly tap in for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and give me feedback if you guys want more tutorials on specific business techniques or what you like tutorials on. If it's designing a logo, if it's picking a website, if it's whatever, I'll do it again over and over again. It doesn't matter. My thing is I'm trying to serve you. I'm here to serve you. So whatever it is, if I don't know how to currently do it, I will learn how to do it and serve you or bring somebody on who's an expert in that field. Yes, please. Um yeah, man, reading is fundamental. And if you like to expand your vocabulary, which I'm learning, is oh, and then there's two apps that I recommend, Khan Academy. If you need to brush up on math and basic skills, man, we was shooting dice and smoking weed and drinking when we were supposed to be paying attention. So I missed all that stuff. Right, we was at the spot by third period back, like wasn't doing PE or none of that. So a lot of the stuff I missed, but I'm making it up now when it matters. So you too can do the same. Time is a man-made construct. Get started as soon as possible, though. God bless. Tapping out.